All right, I want to share with you the top 5 books that I read in 2021 that have made an impact on my business life and my personal life. But I want to share those with you because I think you'll find value in these books. And at the end, I'm going to share my top favorite book of 2021. All right, number 5, it's Sell or Be Sold by Grant Cardone. I love this book because it's one of his first, and it's just like, it's so raw about why it's important to sell and why your moral obligation and you have a duty to learn how to sell. And in every position and everything we do, we have to have the skill set of learning how to sell. And I like the book because it feels, at least like to me, it feels like it's not one of his later books where he's more crafted and probably has editors. It's just more raw, and he just sort of riffs on this topic about why selling is so important. And I've just learned so much from it, like the fact that price almost doesn't matter. When there's enough value there, price doesn't matter. And how to get over that, the price typically isn't the objection. If you're getting an objection on price, it's probably because you have not demonstrated enough value. I think it's just a foundational piece if you're in business to learn the skill set of selling. And so sell or be sold, meaning you're either selling or you're being sold. And so if you're in front of a prospect, they're either selling you or you're selling them. And that happens in all aspects. So if you can learn that skill, learn the things that are in that book, you're going to be off to an amazing head start. And I just believe right now it's such a way to make money, but most people are not equipping themselves with the skill of how to be a great salesperson. So Sell or Be Sold is one of my favorites from 2021. All right, my next favorite book of 2021 is called What the Heck is EOS? It's just a simple storyline read of understanding the entrepreneurial operating system. It's by Gino Wickman. And my company and my team just went through EOS, that whole process and system. In fact, I shot another video which you can check out about how to go through the EOS process. But I loved it because it demonstrated through story version, not just like step 1, step 2, step 3, but it took you on a journey of what that process looks like from here's what our business is when we walk in and when we walk out of EOS, and that whole journey, like this is what it now looks like. And so I thought it was a great book. I'd encourage you to read it, to go through and understand like how could a system or a process like this really help my business grow up, help it change, help it improve. And so What the Heck is EOS is one of my favorites from 2021. Next is Profit First by Mike Michalowicz. I love this book. I've read it a number of times. In fact, I'm kind of the mindset that I don't try to read like 80 books in one year. I try to read like 4 books 80 times. And I've read this book a number of times. Again, I revisited it and I've gone through, and Profit First is really the mindset that you as a business owner need to pay yourself. And that sounds like in theory and simple, but what I've understood for years is like I would get income. Maybe it's a lot like you get income in the business, you pay the expenses, you pay your staff, you pay everyone, and then if there's something left, you get paid, and like you're always last. And the premise of Profit First is that you're first. If you don't take care of you as a business owner, the business won't survive. And so he gives very systematic ways that really challenge the traditional mindsets of fixed-based budgeting versus percentage-based budgeting. And when I first started reading this book, so I'm going to give you a little bit of a warning. When I first started reading this book, I'm like, man, it's numbers. There's some technical things. I thought, man, this is kind of boring in a sense. Like I need action in the book. And what I realized is like if I could push through understanding the principles of what he's teaching, I could fundamentally change the financials of my business, and that got me excited. So for that reason, Profit First is one of my favorite books, and I highly encourage you to read it. All right, my next book is Be Obsessed or Be Average by Grant Cardone. So that's number 2. That's 2 books for Grant in this list, but I love Be Obsessed or Be Average because it's different than the other book, Sell or Be Sold. This one is more of a mindset book of being obsessed or being average, and it came after he wrote the 10X rule. But what I love about it is it's his mindset now. The first book, Sell or Be Sold, is more early stages of his career. Yes, he'd proven some things, but this one's now sort of looking back. And it's a fascinating thing because I love the mindset of like, this is what it took to get me where I am, but here's what it's going to take for me to get even bigger. Like a lot of people see love him or hate him is irrelevant in the sense that's like, you see what he's achieved and he shares like, this is what it took for me to get here. But like, I'm not satisfied with that. I need to get more and I want to do more things and I want to have a bigger impact. So what's the mindset that it takes to do that? And I think in business, so many of us say, I want something up here, but then our mindset and our actions are very average, so we're never going to get there. And he talks about the idea, like, think about it, be obsessed. Like obsessed in every sense of the word seems negative. And he talks to you like, if it's something you really want, you're going to have to be obsessed about getting it. So for that reason, I love that book. It's been a fascinating impact for me. And now I'm about to reveal my number 1 book for 2021. My favorite book of 2021 was Expert Secrets by Russell Brunson. And the reason I loved this book, for many reasons, but one of the reasons I love this book book is it's such a simple way. First of all, he doodles in his book. So like there's like this eye candy in the book that's like really visual for me. I'm a visual learner. And so I love to be able to see like the hero's journey and the path that he takes people on. But more importantly, that Expert Secrets for me felt like it's part of a trilogy that he wrote. But that one in particular for me felt like it's the chance I now get to see of like, how can I take me as an individual in the business that I own and put myself into quote expert status so that people are then attracted to come into my business. That's a theory and a principle that I think most business owners want and know that they need, but then how to get there, there's not many people that ever filled in that gap. And what Russell does just phenomenally well is he has taken everything that he knows that he's done to create that. How is it that he connected with people like Tony Robbins and have now become friends with, and Dean Graziosi and so many other people? The fact that he's an introverted person that I've gotten to meet and hang out with, he's very introverted, and the fact that he has all of these connections, these relationships that he's built, and this sort of status that he built in a very humble way. He shares, this is how you do it. And for me, I loved it because it was very tactical in nature and yet visionary in its delivery. And so I loved it. I think it's a great book for any business owner, no matter where you are in your journey. In your entrepreneurial journey, you could be at the beginning or very far into your process. There's definitely things you're going to learn about how to create your message and turn it into a movement that others will get behind. So for that reason, that's my number one book for 2021. And I can't wait for you to dive into these books. We'll go ahead and put links to those below. And in the comments, would you share what your favorite books were for 2021 so that I can comment and read back? Maybe some of them I've read, but I'd love to hear what your books for 2021 are. And I hope you enjoyed mine.